Welcome back to Bone Smoking Sizzle. Today we're gonna make a German Bologna. There's a lot of different versions out there, but for the first one we do a simple version. It's a coarse cut and you don't need any special equipment for it, like a bowl chopper. On the meat side, we need 600 grams of lean beef, which you can see here on the left hand side. Then we need 200 grams of lean pork, which you can see on the top. The other thing is what we need is we need 100 grams of pork shoulder with connective tissue, which you can see here on the bottom. And on the right hand side, you see 100 grams of pork back fat. That's the meat what we need. So let's have a look at the herbs and spices. We need 20 grams of pickles salt, and in the US that would be 18 grams of table salt and 2 grams of Cure 1 mix. We need 2 grams of ground white pepper per kilo. We need 1 gram of ground sweet paprika per kilo. We need 1 gram of ground coriander per kilo. We need 0.5 grams of ground nutmeg per kilo. We also need 3 grams of ground garlic powder per kilo. We also need 20 grams of potato starch per kilo. For the casings we use beef hocks. Those ones are 40-44 mil in diameter. We also need crushed ice. And what we need is we need 100 grams per kilo. This ice I'm gonna crush now so you can see what it looks like once it's crushed. Let's get this ice crushed. That's it. And the next thing is what we're gonna do is let's get the meat through the mincer. This is what the crushed ice looks like. For the meat itself we need 2 types of plate. We need an 8mm plate and we need a 4 or 5mm plate. The first thing what we're gonna do is we run the lean beef and the lean pork through the 8mm plate. Let's get started. So the meat is nearly done, so that's the part 1. And the next thing is what I'm gonna do is I switch over to the 5mm plate. I have switched over now to the 5mm plate, so let's grind that back fat and that shoulder part, which is the connective tissue, through this plate. We get the fat in first and then the shoulder on top of it. That's it. Now the meat is ground. Okay, we have now the coarse cut and the finer cut, the fat and everything here. So what we will do is now is we add in all the herbs and spices, but no liquid yet. So let's get everything in there. So everything what we have. And let's give this a mix. The thing what I haven't put in yet is the potato starch. We'll put this in a minute. We need to give this a really good mix now. Okay, it starts binding a bit, so which is good. And the next thing is what I'm gonna put in is the starch. Let's give this a mix in as well. Now it becomes really firm. So, and now we put in the ice, the crushed ice on top of it. And now we need to really mix it. And it gets very cold now. So I show quickly, I'll be sitting here at about 5.2, 5.4 degrees. So it's very cold. Hopefully you can see that, not so sure, but it's very cold at the moment. So the temperature is around 5.2, 5.4. Let's keep mixing this because we need a really good binding bread, as they call that, a motion. And that will take a few minutes. So that is there. The arms are falling off when you mix that. So have a look. That's what it looks like. That's nice and binding because you need that. Let's put this in the filler and start filling the sausages. Okay, let's get this one in. So, pick everything up. It has a really good smell. That should be a really good sausage. Push it down to get the air out as much as possible. That's it. Let's start filling. To fill this Bologna, I used the 32mm horn or nozzle. The casings, they have been soaking in the water for the last 30 to 40 minutes. So let's get a bit of water in there and then pull them up. So make sure you get all the water out what's in there. This one is way too much for what I have, but it's okay. So we could tie this one off now, but then we got a big knot in there. So what I will do is I will hold it now, fill it, and we make rings out of it. And we fill it firm. That's it. Now I hold it and I pull out and I will cut it here. Leave it. The next one, fill it firm again. That's it. Pull it out, cut it off. And the next one. Hold that and fill firm. Of course not too firm so it doesn't break. That's it. I have no more in here. Cut it off. And the next thing is we're gonna tie them off now. So when we tie those sausages off, we got this string. I showed you once before how to make your own string here, also what you need, and so the string can run between those fingers here, and you hold them and you tie it onto your table. So you hold the first bit here, give it a little bit of press, not too much, and then what you do is you put your thumbs underneath the string, so you have it like this. Get the string underneath and pull it through, so you got the first knot in there. Then you take the string with your other hand, you wrap it around the casing, you feed through and you tighten. So you got 2 knots in there. That's enough, that will hold. Then you move over to the other side and you give it a squeeze so it becomes firm. And then what you need to do is you need to leave a gap here of a few centimeters. So bring it over, I got about 4 or 5 centimeters. Again, like before, the thumb, string underneath, get it through, pull it out. So you have it here, so you got a little knot here, and let it slide over your thumb and pull. The next one is underneath, pull it through and tighten the knot. That will do it. The sausage is ready. She hangs. Okay, now let's do the next one. Again, the same principle. We give it a little bit of squeeze here. Then get the string ready, what do you need? Through your thumb, underneath, pull it in and tie a knot. Again, wrap it around your finger, the string, through here, and pull. So again, you got 2 knots in there. So we have now 2 sausages connected. The next one again, take the end of the casings, push it in, leave a little bit of gap here. Yeah. So I hold the string a little bit, go underneath, also pick it up through the loop here, like this, and then pull it close. Leave again 3-4 centimeters gap here underneath, and then you hold it, rub it in, push it through like this, and tighten it. So in the end of it, so what you want to do is you need to watch here, so the strings are on top of each other. Okay, so we got 2 little knots, they hold. Do the last one. Okay, so you hold it. Okay, let me get over there a little bit. So I have adjusted it a little bit here so you can see, because I want to teach you that. So you have the string, yeah, so in here, between the finger here, wrap it up, and then you do over the thumb, underneath, pull in and tighten. Second knot, underneath, pull in and tighten. That's it. And then you got that. If the string breaks here, what happened here is just make a knot in it, and that's it. So you got it here again, so you can pull, because you want a bit of pressure on that one here. Okay, then again we push this stuff in, so we hold it, bring it over. That's a smaller one. I grab the string with the skin, so I have the string actually here underneath. Okay, the thumbs over the string like this. Okay, and then you go over the string which you hold, this one here, and you get the stick underneath with the skin, and you pull down and you have it, and you give a quick tug. The skin is already holding, is already tight, the knot, but we give a second knot on top of it, and that will never open. That will stay close. That's it. So it will take a little bit of time to get your head around those things. Then we cut the ends off, because we don't need them. Okay. So we have a nice ending. So we cut them everywhere off. We leave about 1 centimeter on it. That's it. You see? And you can, the string what's on there, The leftover string, as you can see, I got a little bit leftover string. You can leave that there. So the sausages are cut off and they're all holding down the ring. So if I hang them up, they're not falling off anymore. You see, that's holding. There's only 2 knots in there and this is like a sling knot and it's holding. Let's hang those ones up. So I've hung them up now and those ones will now stay there for the next 2 hours. So I let them hang at room temperature for 2 hours before I do anything else with them. So in 2 hours, once they had time to mature at room temperature at about 18 degrees, then the change will come where the color and everything comes into it. Then we start smoking them. The sausages, the Bologna, has now hung for 2 hours at room temperatures around 18 degrees. You can see the skin has started to nicely dry up. That's exactly what we want. The next thing is, what I will do is we're gonna put them in the smoker without smoke at 40 degrees for another hour. Okay, the smoker has nearly 40 degrees. Let's hang them in there. Hang them up here on the top. Make sure they don't touch. Hang them in the middle and close it. So they stay in there now for 1 hour at 40 degrees and no smoke. Okay, the sausages have now been drying for an hour. So let's have a look there. As you can see, they have dried quite good. So I will switch on the smoker now and smoke them for 1.5 hours. The smoking temperature we set at 65. We smoke them 5 degrees hotter than normally because we just want, in that hour and a half, we want a golden color. We don't want it too dark, so it's just nice golden color. Let's check them again in an hour and a half once they've been smoked. The sausages, the German Bologna, has now smoked at 65 for 1.5 hours. Let's have a look at them. Oh, a bit smoky. As you can see, they got a nice brown color. And now they're gonna go into the kettle at 80 degrees for 40 minutes. That's what they look like before I cook them. So I put them in the kettle now and let's cook them. Like I said, 40 minutes at 80 degrees. So the kettle is ready. Let's check the temperature. Oh. Bit of steam. And if we check the temperature, here we go. We got 80, I'm not so sure if you can see that. Probably not. I'm gonna put in the sausages now. There we go. And let's cook them in there. And they stay in there for 40 minutes. What we need to do is we need to reach a core of 70 degrees. Okay, the sausages have been cooking now for 40 minutes at 80 degrees. Let's check the temperature of them. So we'll take one. Let's check the core. Make sure we have so we reached 76, 77 degrees, so they are cooked. So if you can see here, I'm not so sure, you can see that. I put them now into cold water, into ice water. Let's cool them down as quick as possible. Let me get the camera on the other side. As you can see, I cool them down in ice water. Make sure they are below the water, and we leave them in there for about 15 minutes. And as you can see, they have a nice golden brown color. It's exactly what you want. It's a nice even color, so it's perfect. As you can see, really nice. Once they are cold, I will cut one and show you what they look like on the inside. Now let me show you something here. If you look at the water here, there's no fat in there. That means that the emulsion, the binding is perfect. And I show the cold water as well. Here look, there's no fat in the cold water either where they're cooling down. So we have a perfect binding. Okay, they are fairly cold now. I mean, they're not fully cold yet, but what I will do is now is I will hang them up and let them dry in the air a little bit, and they will shrivel up a little bit, so which is a nice look. So we go for that one here, and one I will cut now so you can see what they look in the side. As you can see here, look, I show them once they're hanging. So they're hanging up here now. I let them dry. That's about 10-15 minutes, so they dry off a little bit, and then I will cut one. Like I said, they're still warm, but so we can see, so you can see. Let's cut one. And here we go. You can see what she looks like. She's a nice color and a very good smell. Of course, you can eat that skin. It's beef casing. Here we go. Nice and firm. So let's look at that closer. Let's take one from the cut one, a slice, so you can see. Can you see? Beautiful. Doesn't break. Has a perfect binding. And beautiful smell. The bite of it, very, very, very nice. Now this one here, you can slice it finely, put it on a bread with butter, some cheese, some gherkins, or cut a chunk of it, put it on a stick and fry it over open fire. You get that other aroma out of this sausage, and it's really, really nice. Let's look at them a little bit closer. So you can see here the sliced ones, beautiful color. The smoking color is perfect. Nice and even, nice golden color. That's exactly what you want. Beautiful and very, very good. So you have seen the German Bologna in natural beef hocks, or the beef casings. It's a coarse cut sausage. It's very, very nice in flavor. It isn't that hard to make, but what you have to watch out is that binding. I cannot emphasize enough, make sure you have a proper binding, work with the right temperatures, and you will have a good product. Of course, select the right meat as well for it. If you liked that video about the German Bologna, like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and tell others about it. Otherwise, I wish you all the best, have fun, make sausage, and see you the next time. Bye bye.